My name is Detective Inspector Max Stryker, formerly of the DLPD, and this is a message for the Vice Gambling Consortium. Now, I don't know how it is y'all function wherever the hell it is you are, but I'm trusting that somehow this message is gonna find its way to you, because you do always seem to be watching from somewhere. Now, a little while ago, after the events of the Battle Resort, y'all basically told me that you'd been involved in messing with the first stage of the NX games. Now, I'm willing to take it on faith that you are not doing that anymore with the second stage. I ain't seen any shenanigans that would lead me to believe otherwise. That's not what concerns me right now. And you said that as long as I left well enough alone, then you would go back to however you used to handle things in Draft League City. And I'm fine with that. I don't really have much of a choice in the matter. I have to be. What concerns me is whoever it is your contact is within the city that you said you were able to negotiate with on behalf of your involvement there. Now that will not stand. I'm willing to back off, but you know who I am and you know I gotta do my due diligence. So here's my ultimatum. You keep doing what you're doing. You stick to your area of the city, I'll stick to mine. But I need to know who your contact is, because that might have far-reaching consequences. So that's what I'm gonna do. Now you can help with that. You lead me in the direction to whoever that person is, and that's who I'll be talking to. But if not, things are gonna get a little bit more messy. And I'm just gonna have to live with those consequences, but I can. Question is whether or not you can. So to the Vice Gambling Consortium, give up your contact. And to your contact, who I assume is going to be able to see this as well, just know that I'm coming for you. You've sold out enough of Draft League City to these people, and I will not let that lie. See you soon.
Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and welcome to the final game of the group stages of PPL NX Stage 2. Yes indeed, we are looking pretty good at the moment, 3-1 plus 11 differential, which is nice, but today we are taking on my man Freedo and the Welsheons. His links down in the description below, make sure you check them out along with everyone else in the division. I've known Freedo a very, very long time, coming on for about 9-10 years now. We've never had the chance to battle. We both took extended breaks from Draft League. I came back and then kind of helped him come back as well, which was awesome to see. And now we finally get the chance to do battle. His team is super threatening. He can choose from Iron Valiant, Meowscarada, Landorus-T, Walking Wake, Metagross, Blastoise, and then his 5 Terra options are Chandelure, Bellavolt, Muck, Braviary, and Eevee. So, we need ways to take hits from a lot of powerful threats. That in mind, we're going with a mixed defensive Terrapagos here with leftovers. We are max HP, mixed defensive, as I say, we've got enough speed in there to outrun, I believe, a non-invested Landorus-T. Terra Starstorm, Dark Pulse, Toxic, and Stealth Rock. Like I say, a bit more of a supportive, bulky Terrapagos set that can still hit quite hard with Terra Starstorm, Dark Pulse on there. Pretty much for the Metagross and the Chandelure, everything else is at least taking damage from Terra Starstorm. We can Toxic the likes of the Blastoise, the Lando, things like that, get rocks up and try and chip things away with Terrapagos. It's not going to be sweeping this week, but hopefully getting some good chip damage. Next up, we have something that might be able to do some sweeping, depending. It is going to be Clear Amulet Iron Treads here. Max attack, adamant, near max defense. It's got rapid spin. After that, it should be outpacing everything that's unboosted on Freedo's team. Earthquake, Iron Head, and Ice Spinner are going to be the moves of choice on there. Hitting everything once again pretty hard. Then we have some special offense. We're going with a Citrus Berry Primarina here. With max special attack modest, we've got a good amount of speed on there. Again, looking to try and outpace stuff like an uninvested Landorus and some of the slower things on Freedo's team. The rest is thrown to special defense with Moonblast, Hydro Pump, Shadow Ball, mostly for the Metagross, and Calm Mind on there too, just to try and boost up against stuff like a special Iron Valiant or maybe the Walking Wake. Then we have what's probably, hopefully in my opinion, going to be one of our big sweeping options, and that is going to be Lumberry Haxorus. I'm anticipating a fair amount of status on Freedo's team, so Lumberry is good for that. We have Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Dragon Dance, and First Impression. Mostly there in case the Meowscarada wants to come in and revenge us, if it's maybe Scarfed and we're at +1. Or we can just bring in Haxorus on it and try and threaten out or get that big damage. Then we have another potential sweeper. This is going to be Adrenaline Orb, Swords Dance, Overquill. I am anticipating that Landorus to come, and it's a pretty good switch into Overquill. So if we can predict that and get a Swords Dance off, we'll be at +1/+1. Barb Barrage, Crunch, and Liquidation are going to be the moves of choice on there to once again start hitting Freedo as hard as possible, if we can get set up. If not, it's still a fairly bulky Intimidate user that can switch into the likes of Physical Iron Valiant maybe, Landorus potentially, Metagross more likely, and certainly the Muck. Final member of the team is going to be Abomasnow. We have Light Clay, Snow Warning, Aurora Veil here. Max special attack, modest, with a lot of defense investment and some speed once again for those kind of slower and uninvested Lando around those area speeds. Blizzard, Giga Drain, and Earth Power are going to be the moves of choice going on there. So a lot of focus is put on either setup or just hitting things incredibly hard as often as possible. That's the team we're going in with, so let's get into the battle screen and see what Freedo has decided to bring against us. So, as you can see, Freedo has decided to go with Chandelure, Landorus-T, Iron Valiant, Metagross, Braviary, and Meowscarada. A lot of what we expected. Stuff like no Belly Bolt is really nice to see. It is going to be Terra Grass on the Chandelure, and it's going to be Terra Flying on the Braviary. Now, what I kind of want to do is lead with my Haxorus. If he wants to lead with a Meowscarada, we can try and get massive damage onto it with First Impression, or just switch out of it. You can see I'm there, I'm just checking that we do have it. But yeah, I'm going to lead with my Haxorus. It can get some good damage against anything that isn't really the Iron Val, which we're going to want to get out of there on. And we're just going to go from there and see how it goes. So, here we go with the final game of Stage 2 of PPL NX Group Stages versus Freedo and the Welsheons. He is going to lead with the Metagross as I go with my Haxorus. Now, this is fine. There's very little chance that this thing is going to be able to Oko me. If it is a Sugar Berry, then we're going to be able to get around that with Unnerve. So I am just going to stay in here and go for Earthquake. It would be super nice to get big damage onto Metagross early game, because that thing can stick around, tank hits, and cause a lot of damage. So just going to click Earthquake off the bat and see what he wants to do in response. So, as you can see, in is going to come the Earthquake here. That's going to do just over half to this Metagross, as Meteor Mash comes in and does significantly over half to me. So, looking to be a fairly offensive build here, but it could just be bulky attacker. Now, I'm happy to just stay in and go for Earthquake again. The switch into Landorus is fairly obvious, so I could try and make a play into the likes of my Overquill or something like that, but I don't really want to do that. I want to just keep on going with Earthquake in case he decides to stay in, and there's potential that I can try and bluff a Choice Scarf and hide the fact that I might be packing First Impression or Dragon Dance. So, that is going to make that switch, unfortunately. Going to save Metagross and go into Goated, of course, the Landorus-T. Going to get that Intimidate, which is fine because Earthquake is, of course, going to do no damage to the Landorus. I don't want to stay in here. There's no reason for me to do this. I have a few potential options to go into right about now. Primarina is one of them, but I kind of want to keep Primarina around for that Iron Valiant and maybe even the Chandelure. So realistically, one of my best plays would be to go into my Abomasnow. I'll get the Snow up, I'll get that defense boost, try and tank a hit and go from there. So I'm going to get out of there with Haxorus, like I say, and I am going to go into my Abomasnow, who is, by the way, Terra Water for this game. We're going to get the Snow up, which is grand. Earthquake is going to go in from Lando, and that is going to do not a whole huge amount of damage. Now, there is every chance that I could be packing Ice Shard here. I am going to stay in, anticipating a U-turn on out. So what I'm actually going to do is try and make an early play here. I really don't think he's going to stay in. I think he's going to U-turn out either into the Chandelure or the Metagross. So what I'm going to do on the Flying type is click Earth Power. And it's exactly what I thought would happen. The U-turn is going to come in from the Lando, but because of that defense boost on the Snow, it's not going to do a whole huge amount to my Abomasnow here. And like I say, I'm fully anticipating either the Chandelure or more likely this guy, the Metagross, to come in. So we are going to nail that prediction. Earth Power is going to come in and not kill because this is Assault Vest. Damn. Bit unfortunate there, but you know, we got the call, right? Which is at least something, and this Metagross is now very much in range of anything, but I don't want to be staying in because he will outspeed me, and a Meteor Mash, even through the defense boost, looks likely to KO Abomasnow from here, and I do want to keep it around. So what I'm going to do is just go into my Iron Treads. It will be able to soak up any steel type attack that this Metagross wants to go for, hopefully outspeed and go for Earthquake to guarantee the KO. So like I say, I'm going to pull Abomasnow back on out of there. Don't want to be taking a Meteor Mash from this Metagross. And I'm going to go into my Fizz Def Treads. It is going to be the Bullet Punch, which does absolutely nothing, showing that, you know, he might be completely uninvested in speed and fearing the fact that I could be quite a quick Abomasnow. But either way, I am just going to go for Earthquake. It's fairly free into my opponent's team. Like, someone like Meowscarada doesn't want to take this hit. And, you know, if he goes into the Landorus, he's not going to get intimidated because of my Clear Amulet, and I can try and get a big Ice Spitter off. Now, thankfully, Freedo is just going to stay in with Metagross and let it go down, seeing no sense in saving it. So, Metagross is down. We are going to draw First Blood here. Iron Treads, once again proving how reliable it can be by taking out that Metagross. Now, there's a few things that can come in here. You've got the likes of the Landorus that could come in and try and do some damage. Maybe even the Iron Val or the Chandelure if it is scarfed. But I have particularly ideal switch-ins, hopefully, to both of those in the form of Primarina. Though I do have to be careful of a Terra Grass boosted Energy Ball from Chandelure. So thinking ahead, it's hopefully going to be the Landorus, and we can try and do some big damage with our Clear Amulet coming into play, stopping the Intimidate from working. Unfortunately for my Treads, it's not going to be the Landorus, it is going to be that Iron Val. But I feel pretty content to go into my Primarina on this one. Looking at the team comp with the likes of Lando, Metagross, Braviary and Meowscarada, I am anticipating this to be a specially offensive Iron Valiant, which would make my Primarina a very solid switch into the likes of the Aura Sphere that I'm imagining is coming my way. So that is the sequence I'm going to make. Get out of there with Iron Treads, don't want to be staying in on an Iron Valiant, that's for darn sure. And I'm going to go into my Primarina, as we do indeed see the Aura Sphere. That's going to do a little bit more than I would actually like, because it is Life Orb, which is just the best thing to run on an Iron Val. Now, with Metagross, the big AV user, gone, Primarina can start doing a lot of work here, and there is not a whole huge amount that wants to switch in on a Moonblast. The only thing that does is the Chandelure that can then go Terra Grass and start spamming hits. So what I'm going to do is take the risk, because equally, there's nothing really that wants to switch in on a Hydro Pump except for the Meowscarada, and I'm gambling that Freedo's going to expect me to go for Moonblast not Hydro Pump. So I'm going to choose the latter. I am going to click Hydro Pump. It'll do massive amounts of damage to this Val, and if we see Chandelure, so much the better. Val is going to get out of there, and it is going to be Seer. That is the Chandelure. It comes in, we are going to nail it with a Hydro Pump, and that is going to get a clean Oko. Chandelure going down before it can Terra Grass, and that is a big weight off my mind. So now in comes the Meowscarada. We have to get out of here because with Primarina having taken out Chandelure and Metagross going down, Moonblast is incredibly free into Freedo's team. Ostensibly, anytime I can get this Prim in on the Iron Valiant, I can click Moonblast and pretty much try and kill something. So I have to get out of there with Prim. I do not want to be staying in right about now. So I have to pick something to go into on the Meow, and that is actually going to be my my Overquill here. I can get an Intimidate off, try and scout out whether this is like a Banded set or a Scarf set, something like that, and hopefully at least take a couple of hits from this Meowscarada. So I'm going to bring in my Overquill. We're going to go for the Intimidate, but it is Clear Amulet on the Meowscarada, who is just going to go for the Protean U-turn, and this is going to do a lot of damage, just under half, which is no bueno for my Overquill. Now, I was hoping to see Landorus come in here, but it makes sense that Freedo wouldn't go into that when he kind of needs it for my Iron Treads and potentially my Haxorus, especially with me being 6'4" up. Now, Valiant coming in here, it could go for Moonblast, it could go for Aura Sphere, either one is going to do a number on my Overquill, and seeing that we've got Clear Amulets on the Meowscarada, I don't see all that much sense to be playing too safe with Overquill. So what I'm going to do is stay in here and at least try and go for damage with the Barbarage. If he KOs us, so be it, because then we just go back into Prim and nail something with a Moonblast. And it is going to be a Moonblast from Val that comes in, and that is just going to destroy my Overquill. It's going to go down without troubling the scorecard, but it's another tick of Life Orb onto the Iron Val, which is always nice to see. And once again, like I say, I can just go into Primarina here and freely click Moonblast to get big damage onto something. So, like I say, I'm going to go into Primarina here, and yeah, Moonblast is such a free click, because if he stays in with Val, he doesn't kill me, he dies. If he goes into Meowscarada on a printed Hydro Pump, he dies. The only things he has really to take the hits are Landorus and Braviary. If he goes into Braviary on a Hydro Pump, he dies. It's going to be the Braviary that comes in, and Braviary can be built to take these kinds of hits. I am risking a Moonblast special attack drop, giving it a Defiant boost, but it is just too tempting to click that Moonblast button and get big hits. So, it is going to be the Braviary that comes in. We are going to go for the Moonblast. That is going to do a clean like 65-ish%, which is grand. We don't get the special attack drop, so there's no Defiant boost proc, which is great, but I do kind of need to protect Primarina here, because like you see, it just puts on so much pressure whenever the Valiant is in. So I'm going to have to go into something to either sack to Braviary to revenge with Iron Treads, or if I think Iron Treads is up to the task, I could just go into it directly. But as it is, I'm going to make the safer play in my mind, which is to go into my Abomasnow to sack it. It's not doing anything for the rest of this game, realistically speaking. It dies to pretty much everything and is always going to be outspared. In is going to come the Brave Bird from the Braviary, and that is of course going to take out my Abomasnow. So down that goes, but it's done a decent bit of chip to a few things, including that Brave Bird recoil onto the Braviary. So now I am going to go into my Iron Treads. We didn't see Life Orb. I am very much assuming that this is going to be a Scarf set. If that is the case, and he stays in, he's going to go for Brave Bird and take recoil damage to put him in range of my Rapid Spin. If he switches out into the, well, anything, I can get a Rapid Spin off to try and outpace and then go for a big hit. So Rapid Spin is always going to be my play here. Now, Freedo has no reason not to go for the Terror on this turn, especially if it is that predicted Scarf set and he switches out and I go with Rocks. He's dead on switching anyway, so he might as well stay in and go for as much damage as he can with a Scarfed Terror Flying Brave Bird, and that is what he is going to do. In it comes, but we have max physical defense investment. It is not going to do a whole huge amount. And like I say, the Brave Bird recoil is going to put him in range where Rapid Spin from Iron Treads will take him out. So, a huge threat gone. It's confirmed, of course, to be Choice Scarfed, and down goes the Braviary. Huge threat out of my way, and another thing that could have taken a Moonblast from my Primarina is also gone. Now, with me being at +1 and still at a good amount of health, we know that the Val and the Meowscarada aren't scarfed, so it's got to be the Landorus that comes in. As you'll see, that's what happens, but our Clear Amulet is going to block that Intimidate, which is lovely. What that means is that I can go for a big old Ice Spinner. It may not kill, but it will get significant damage onto the Lando and put it in range of something like the Haxorus. So it is going to be Ice Spinner, but this is why Freedo was comfortable going for U-turn in front of a Bombersnow. He does have the Archie Berry. It's still going to do slightly over half to this Landorus, but unfortunately the Earthquake incoming is going to do for my Iron Treads, which is a shame, but Treads has put in a good shift, and it has got over half damage onto the Landorus, which, like I say, is going to put him in range, hopefully, of my Haxorus's Dragon Claw to try and clean it up and leave this as a 3v2. So, it is going to be Haxorus who comes in for me here. And like I say, I am just going to go for the Dragon Claw. If he wants to make the play into Valiant, quite frankly, so be it. I have ways and means with Primarina and a full health Terapagos in the back. So, I am just going to go for the Dragon Claw and kind of hope that he's going to let this Landorus go down. Or potentially even switch into the likes of Meowscarada. That would be delightful too. But it is going to be the former option. The crit doesn't matter. We have massive attack investment, and this is looking to be a bit more of an offensive build of Landorus as well. So, Haxorus is going to take out the Landorus. And what that means is it is Iron Valiant, who is Life Orb, and the Clear Amulet Meowscarada versus the rest of my guys. It is going to be the Iron Valiant who comes in. Now, in my mind, I'm sitting here thinking it would be really useful still to have the first impression for that Meowscarada should we need it. And I know with the hefty defensive investments that my Terapagos has, I will take any 2 hits from this Iron Valiant with my Terra Shell into any kind of super effective hit from Aura Sphere. So, what I'm going to do here is save my Haxorus priority for that Meowscarada. I'm going to make the switch into my Terapagos. I will take a Moonblast into an Aura Sphere, and I will be able to KO with Terra Starstorm, and that will just leave Meowscarada as the last remaining Mon on my opponent's team, which I can hopefully deal with through my Haxorus. So, that is the play I am going to make. I'm going to get on out of there, and I'm going to go into my Terapagos for the first time this game. No hazards up, so that is fine. Our Terra Shell is going to be intact to take the incoming Moonblast. So, it's going to make it not very effective, of course. Here comes the Moonblast from the Life Orb here, and it doesn't do a whole huge amount of damage, which is grand. The snow is stopped, that doesn't matter. I'm going to get a little bit of leftovers back from that. Now, like I say, I know with my investment from like Timid Life Orb, I will take an Aura Sphere. I won't take it well, but I will take it, and I'll be able to go for Terra Starstorm and wipe out this Iron Val, leaving just the Meowscarada left to take on the rest of my team, which very crucially still has that first impression. And that is what's going to happen. The Aura Sphere is going to come in, but like I say, I knew that I could take that hit just about. And we do take it just about. I'm going to go for the Terra Starstorm, land that in onto the Val, and that is going to take out the Iron Valiant. Really good stuff from Terapagos, tanking those hits. And now, like I say, it is Meowscarada versus the world. But it is so crucial in my mind that I have kept that first impression in the back on my Haxorus, which I've tried to disguise as being scarfed to maybe lull him into the false sense of security that I don't have it. In is going to come the Meowscarada. He will take me out with a Flower Trick very easily. and Flower Trick will also easily do for my Primarina. So it is really coming down to whether First Impression can take it out, and I'm privately hoping that it can. So I'm just going to stay in here, go for the Terra Starstorm, just in case I get a chance to get a hit off, which I won't. And then that happens. Freedo's going to risk the miss, but land a Play Rough. That is a problem, because now he resists my First Impression. This is actually really, really bad for me, because now it is looking like I may not win this game. A very good play from Freedo, making himself a Fairy type, and now I just kind of have to hope that he, for some reason, isn't running enough investment for Flower Trick unstabbed to take out my Primarina. It is going to be my Primarina who comes in. I have like maybe some physical defense investment, but it's not much. A Moonblast should do a good amount of damage to this thing, but it all comes down to whether I'm going to be able to get that Moonblast off in time. Because, like I say, a Flower Trick really should be taking me out from here unless something drastic happens. Now, as it is, I go for Hydro Pump as my best chance to do as much damage as possible, but it doesn't matter because the Flower Trick is going to come in, and there was never really any chance that I was going to be taking that hit. And now, all I have left is my Haxorus. And effectively what I have to play for is a Play Rough miss. Because what I'm going to do here is go for Dragon Dance. It is my best chance. I have to Dragon Dance, hope that the Play Rough misses, then go for Earthquake and hope to get just a big old damage roll to try and take out this Meowscarada. And unfortunately, it's not going to happen. The Play Rough is going to land. Haxorus is going to go down, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the game. So yeah, we take a very, very close and frustrating 1-0 loss to my man Freedo. Very well played on his part. His links down in the description below. Make sure you check them out along with everyone else in the division. It was a really exciting game, actually, which is one of the really good things I can say about it. It never felt one-sided in either way. I think I actually played it quite well. Like, I made some quite good calls in that one. You know, the Earth Power onto the Landorus on the incoming Metagross, opting to go for Hydro, taking out the Chandelure before it could become a threat. I think I made some good plays, but I'll have to hold my hands up to the fact that I horribly mismanaged that endgame. I horribly messed it up. What I did was I saved Haxorus' First Impression for the Meowscarada. What I should have done was sacked the Haxorus. Because what happens in that instance is, I sack Haxorus to the Iron Valiant, I bring in Primarina, and Freedo has to choose which of his mons is going to go down. I have every confidence that it would have been the Iron Valiant there. He would have just let it go, possibly gone for a bit of chip damage with, say, Vacuum Wave or Energy Ball, which he did have, but wouldn't have killed. And then I would have taken him out with Moonblast on the Primarina. Then in comes the Meowscarada, gets the Flower Trick kill, and then I try and take on Meowscarada with my Terapagos. Now, I was running the calcs on this, and the reason I didn't do this is because I had no special attack investment on Terapagos. I was looking at the calcs that were telling me Terra Starstorm was doing a max roll of 49%. So I wouldn't have 2-hit KO'd, and Flower Trick would have come in and 2-hit KO'd me. Problem with that was that I should have changed Terapagos' form to its terrestrial form, which I didn't do. If I'd have saved Terapagos for the 1v1 endgame or against Meowscarada, I won that game 1-0, like I just did. Because little form Terapagos couldn't have done it, but big form Terapagos easily 1v1 the Meowscarada, there was no chance. So it comes down to just misplays on my part. I wasn't observant enough, I wasn't careful enough, it's my own fault. And just mismanaging that endgame. To take nothing away from Freedo, absolutely, like he took advantage of my misplay in that endgame and actually played that endgame to the best of his ability. Going for Play Rough to turn himself into a Fairy type on Meowscarada was brilliant. he risked the miss onto Terapagos, but it was worth it for him because he was covering for either the first impression, but in his head, he told me this after the game, more importantly, he was covering for Scarf Taxorus. So I couldn't lock in on Dragonclaw to take him out. So, you know, he actually made a really, really good play there. And so I can't take anything away from it. As much as I fucked up that endgame, Freedo played it very well. And his back was against the wall while doing so. So, you know, full credit where credit is due. Freedo deservedly won that one. Well played, my man. So, unfortunately, that loss means we finish the regular season group stages at 3-2 with a very healthy +10 differential. Now, I know how the groups have shaken out, so I will tell you right about now that that result didn't matter. We have still made the gold stage. We finished second in our group. There were some crazy games in the final set of battles for our group. Some crazy results, some very odd things happened. I highly recommend you check out everyone's videos of that to see how the last week shaped out. And everyone else's, you know, to see how the rest of the group stages went. Either way, we have come second in our group, which means we advance to the gold bracket for the playoffs. I know who my opponent is. I will not tell you who it is because there is a chance that they are from a group that is yet to upload, so you won't have seen their videos. I'm not going to give away who my opponent is. What I will tell you is I am oh so very excited for it. Oh yes, it's gonna be good. Obviously, there are 2 more groups yet to upload their group stage videos. So the next couple of weeks, go and check out other channels. I will try if I remember to put everyone's channel links in this one. Normally, I just put the group stages of who's in my immediate sort of upload group, but I'll try and put everyone's in this video, just so you can go and check out every single person, so you can see games for the next couple of weeks. The week after that is when the playoffs happen, and honestly, I'm quite glad of the break. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, I have a really bad throat. I've been doing a lot of recording and narrating and commentating over the past week and a bit, and it's affecting my throat. Like, I have a really sore throat. Sometimes it even it hurts when I sort of breathe off when I've done a big recording session. And just overall, I haven't been sleeping a lot. My schedule is messed up, so I'm tired. I'm run down. I'm not feeling well. I'm glad of the 2-week break. So there is every chance that there won't be anything going up for the next couple of weeks on this channel. I'll try and throw some stuff in there. We'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, check out the other links to everyone who is in PPL NX. There are some fantastic content creators there who are uploading some fantastic battles, including, as I say, my man Freedo. Go and check out his links especially. Show him some love. Tell him I sent you. He's a very good friend of mine, a long-term friend. And I'm glad we finally got to battle, mate. I'm glad we can make it competitive. I'm glad we can make it interesting. But that's going to be it from me. I'm going to get out of here. I've rambled on for far too long and I need to sleep. So, my final thank you to you all for watching. And I guess with that, I'll see you next time. Laters.